You're Axel McCoin, grizzled amnesiac, hard-boiled detective with a problem. Crime isn't your problem. Spark is, the latest drug on the block, and it's messing up your memories, implants, and job prospects big time. And now, you're going to have to get that habit in check, because a huge murder case has dropped into your malfunctioning lap. Someone is murdering the engineers of the world's largest implant corporation, and it's up to you to stop the culprit. But first, you're going to have to try and get your shit together. Easier said than done in the dystopian nightmare future of neon blood. Welcome to the world of hard-boiled cyberpunk detective neo-noir, set in a broken future where implants and body modifications are the order of the day. It's a world marrying the glitz and glamour of the rain-drenched, neon-infused streets with drugged-out cannibals just around the corner. Neon Blood draws inspiration far and wide, from Blade Runner to Cyberpunk 2077, with a dash of the finest detective noir movies and books, all combined to create its story and characters. Those inspirations show up in many ways, some not as obvious while others are just entirely on the nose, like a slew of cameos from other well-regarded games. The story, spread across multiple locations, will take you down the highway for McCoy and spark addiction and how it's tied into the murders, industrial espionage, rich people with god complexes, mutations, and body horror gone out of control. These are just some of the narrative threads the game weaves together, and it's a fine enough story only let down by its predictability. You can see where the story is going well before McCoy does, which drains some of the wind from its sails. For all intents and purposes, Neon Blood is a point-and-click adventure with modern controls. The detective aspect of the game is less deduction and more about finding clues in the environment and scanning them. As such, there's a fair amount of back and forth in locations as you highlight one clue that will inevitably lead you to another, and so on. Sadly, you can't form your own interpretation and conclusions as to what happened, making the detective aspect of the game a bit of a missed opportunity in favor of a straightforward narrative. The game also doles out turn-based combat encounters at specific points in the story. There are no random encounters, with each carefully placed, used to further the story and increase McCoy's stats and abilities. Each fight will increase your health or add a new attack to your arsenal, and it's all determined by dice rolls behind the scenes, which can lead to some frustration as the amount of damage and healing you dole out is determined by how lucky that roll is. It's a stripped-back system that works well enough for the limited and curated encounters. Had there been random encounters, the less-than-flashy combat would have grown tiresome quick. These fights are also the only time the horror of the implants gone awry is made clear, with flashy quick-time events that end most fights on a gory, pixelated note. All of which brings us to Neon Blood's superb fusion of pixel art and 3D visuals. The game is a looker, bringing that teched-up, glimmering dystopian set dressing to life. Neon lights and rain wash through the scene aplenty, complementing the dark locations and shiny rain-slick streets. The characters are all lovingly animated 2D sprites on top of 3D environments, and there's a fantastic use of lighting, both in the detailed 3D backdrops and on the characters themselves, or at least when their outfits are neon encumbered. There are some issues with Neon Blood, unfortunately. As gorgeous as the visuals are, there's the sense that the Nintendo Switch is running slower in the most complex scenes, as your movement seems slower than less complex ones. That's compounded by the fact the movement system is just clunky. That sluggishness, combined with a rather low camera position, makes it difficult to gauge the distance between objects at times, and it left me getting stuck on props more often than I'd care to count. The visual prompts in several QuickTime sections are also sometimes obscured by shiny neon lights, and generally dense details in the environment can make them easy to miss. Those gripes aside, Neon Blood is a decently fun and beautiful adventure game, whose gorgeous neon-suffused setting is let down by a clunky movement system and narrative beats that are far too predictable for a detective mystery. If you've got this far, please consider giving the video a like and maybe subscribing to our channel as it helps us grow.